and 30 minutes of the most recent news from across Liberia and other parts of our one world. It's Thursday, the third day of August 2023. My name is Zokwe Beslokonen, your presenter. In the headlines, hundreds of African Americans seek to make Liberia a land of return. Two representative aspirants of Montserrat District 9 in conflicting exchanges over plans for the district. Nimba County Traditional Council suspends all traditional activities ahead of the 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Away from home, UK begins evacuation of citizens amid security uncertainty in Niger. These stories, plus many more developments, are all packaged in today's edition of the program. Elbc Newsline. We now go over to Emmanuel Colley for the Bulletin of News.
A group of diaspora Africans under the banner United Nations of Israel is pushing to make Liberia a destination for their return to the continent. The group's chief executive officer, Shamaya Samoya Shirala, believes coming back to Liberia a land of return will complete the transition started by their forefathers more than 200 years ago. Shamaya said coming back to settle in Liberia will also complete the awakening of people as visioned by the free slaves who founded the land.
We're looking to bring our engineers, our doctors, our lawyers, our physicians to come back and build up Liberia. Why should we continue to build up something that is opposite to our people?
Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia Wednesday, Israel Chief Executive Officer called on diaspora Africans to come back, invest, and make Liberia and the continent great. The United Nations of Israel represents a conglomeration of millions of Black African Americans wanting to come back to their motherland. Two representative aspirants for District Number 9 Montserrat County have presented conflicting positions on how they intend to address problems confronting the district should they get elected. AMC or CPP candidate Phoebe Harris and Unity Party's Mela Kanakai pledged to focus on health with particular emphasis on the GFK Medical Center. Mr. Harris said if elected, he will seek public revenue to strengthen the GFK, where patients, particularly pregnant women, will be given free medical treatment. For his part, Mr. Kanakai pledged to seek the passage of law to transform the GFK hospital into what he calls a true national referral hospital. However, Mr. Phoebe Harris mocked Mr. Kanakai for having no vision for the district, claiming that he has done a lot of interventions to cater for the welfare of the people of District 9. But Kanakai, however, dismissed such claims, saying he has constructed a school building in Sinka. Meanwhile, a representative aspirant has vowed to tackle road connectivity and poor education system when elected in Bonk County. But Yaman Colley said residents in the area are faced with several challenges, ranging from bad road condition, lack of basic health centers, and poor educational facilities. The Bonk County District 5 representative aspirant was speaking on the Super Morning Show via mobile in the States. She expressed the optimism that when elected, she will champion the cause of development for the citizens of the district. But Nkoli said for too long, people of the area have suffered a lack of basic social services. Nima County Traditional Council has suspended all traditional activities in the county until the conduct of the 2023 presidential and legislative elections. The decision is intended to give rise to all presence to freely campaign and vote despite their traditional affiliation. Nima County Traditional Council Inspector Malisin Bali said the decision is to create a level playing field for all candidates and their supporters. Bali emphasized that as part of the mandate, all initiations of people in the Sandy and Pro societies are also suspended. A pro-democracy group, Liberia Advocate for Change through Social Justice and Human Rights laws, has released what it calls citizen action ahead of the October elections. The group's executive director, Emmanuel Tanu, reading the citizens' petition, cautioned against voting people based on mere political promises. Mr. Tanu said the time is now for Liberians to rise above the political fray and be intentional in their quest for better leadership.
Going forward, we, the people of the Republic of Liberia, shall no longer vote for the governance of our country based on promises from our public servants. Why is that? Because promises do not guarantee accountability, transparency, and good governance as they are beyond the scope of the provisions in our constitution.
Meanwhile, Mr. Tano wants citizens cultivate a spirit of unity for the socio-economic development of Liberia. The last executive director was speaking recently when he published a 4-count petition on the wishes and aspirations of voters. The dean of the Elbc Sawyer College of Social Sciences and Humanities at the University of Liberia has praised the Liberian mission in Paris, France, for providing quality service to the country. Dr. Josephus Gray particularly thanked Mr. Francis Grant, Minister, Councillor, and Charge Affairs, and Madam Tracy Ashley Grisby, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Designate, for keeping up the fantastic work in projecting Liberia's image globally, especially in Western Europe. Speaking Wednesday during a visit at the embassy, Dr. Gray encouraged Mr. Grant and the diplomatic officers to remain steadfast in pushing the country's foreign policy. And 10 Liberian-owned businesses have benefited from the United Nations Development Program UNDP Gulf Accelerator Grant Program. The program is being implemented by our campus with businesses involved in agriculture, weaving, and information technology, among others. iCampbell's Chief Executive Officer Luther Jackie said each of the businesses received 40,000 US dollars to carry out activities in that parts of the country.
Emmanuel Colley there with the news bulletin. He will be here again with the weather update and international development. One of the big stories we are following on today's presentation. Nimba County Traditional Council suspends all traditional activities ahead of the 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Since Liberia marked its bicentennial, declaring the country land of return, it seems that many African Americans have heeded to the call. Diaspora Africans under the banner United Nations of Israel have expressed interest in making Liberia the central nation of their return to the African continent. A visiting delegation from the group held a press conference Wednesday in Monrovia about their mission to the country.